panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition. Yes, this was a fine idea.
Okay. Yo, wonder. तू तो सोने जा रहा है ना? सीधा जाओ भाई. मुझे तो ऐसे दौड़ा दौड़ा के मारेंगे. क्या भाई सवाल लेके बैठ गए. अरे यार स्ट्रीम बॉट का कुछ तो हुआ है बहुत. स्ट्रीम लैब का छूट गया भाई बॉट.
Time to go.
डेलीज कर लेते पहले. भगा दी. स्पैम करने थंबनेल मस्त है. थैंक यू. तेरे से इंस्पायर्ड हुआ. नहीं लटक गया. चला गया क्या? मेरे ना किया नहीं गया. अभी भी है. बता दे जल्दी दे तेरा इवेंट करने को. आईडी और ये भेज दे. हाँ कर देता हूँ. रुक इसमें भी एक दिन है. ये वाला कर दिया क्या तूने? रील एडवेंचर वाला भेजा तो था. अरे हाँ मैंने ये नहीं किया. थोड़ी देर में ये कर लेता हूँ ब्रो. जल्दी से डेली खत्म कर देता हूँ. भी करते हैं. ये वाला वेपन देखो शाओ के लिए अच्छा है अभी के लिए. मस्त है. अटैक इंक्रीज करता है 50% से. मूवमेंट स्पीड भी बढ़ाता है. करता हूँ ब्रो. बस 5 मिनट का देर है भाई करने। पता नहीं ये फुरीना के कौन से मैप्स वाला। जस्टिस जस्टिस मांग रही, जस्टिस मांग रही भाई। कई बार ना थोड़ा उल्टा सुल्टा बैठ जाता है भाई, तो पता नहीं चलता वो। इसको बोल वो ले ले, क्या ले ले भाई।
Teamwork is dreamwork.
One with nature.
Fulfill our pact.
As one with wind and cloud.
You two. Time to end them.
Rise with the sun.
नॉर्मल वाले चार्ज अटैक से मर गए।
Our fate.
मार क्या लॉल। स्टाइल में मर गई।
Everybody stand back. Get to work. Light it up. The flame
अरे
burns on.
नॉन सारा सेट लाली ने उन्हें चोट पहुंचा।
Suffer the wrath of Easley.
One with nature. Fallen leaves. Adorn my...
Teamwork is dreamwork. Adventure time.
आवाज आ रहा है, ओके ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है।
The wind knows it.
Show no mercy. Going in. You two. Time to end them. Fulfill our pact.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds come.
Yeah. Let's light it up.
बस ये नहीं स्वाद नहीं।
Teamwork is dreamwork. Get to work.
Wind strike.
Let's light it up.
75 के मार रही। नाइस। एकदम से उड़ा देता हूँ मैं। जो भाव देखा जाएगा। तो पहले ना ये बना लेता हूँ कंडेंस रेजिन, वो जल्दी से ये होगा। तो यार हो गया।
Add Astra.
टेनिस तो इजी है भाई।
Thank you for complete.
पता नहीं।
Stabilize. Run with nature. I will have order. The tides beckon.
इस टीम के साथ नो बर्निंग। नो गोल्ड।
Let the world fly!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night. Settle down.
खुद मार रहा है कुत्ते की तरह।
Stabilize.
Shower me with threat!
The wind knows it. Let the mighty be humble.
वाला ये वाला।
Time to shine! Strike a pose!
Into the wind.
अब ये वाला अकाउंट का हो गया, वांडो का करते हैं भाई। तब तक आप ना ये देख लीजिए। कर लिया तेरा ही। वांडो ये वेपन कब मिला रे तेरे को? यार्ले का सिग्नेचर बड़ा मस्त वेपन है भाई वो, लुक्स वाइज इस बार। ओह सही है। वेट वेट मैं ये नहीं देख पाऊंगा थोड़ी देर के लिए, ठीक है? देख ही लेता हूँ, रुक। कर लेता हूँ टेंशन। ओके ये डाल देते हैं। चलो ठीक ठीक है। ओके 6 क्या है आगे 7 पे अरे हमने किया था ना ये। तीन 4 5 6 7 पे 8 पे चल लेते लगा लेते हैं। नौ ओके 10 9 10 पे लगा देते हैं इसको लगा के इसको। फिर लास्ट वाला कौन सा बच्चा ये वाला में भी हो गया पहला वाला। वनडे तेरा हो गया पहला कुछ तो होना। That motion be okay. बेचारा को लोड का दिया। हो गया सेकेंड डे वाला के साथ होके 4 5 6 7 8 9 12 थोड़ा अलग से स्टार्ट करते हैं शाइनिंग देंगे शाइनिंग देंगे Shangling, then 10 मिनट ओके गोबा वाला okay okay ये भी हो गया सही है
Treating friends and family, look no further than One Mean Restaurant.
यो अपन भाई वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम कैसे हो
With a smile. Our renowned chefs bring you the very best with every bite.
ये तो चला गया भाई
Our diverse menu is sure to have a dish with your name on it. Hungry for change? Discover new flavors at One Mean Restaurant. Why settle for less when you could be feasting like an adeptus? One Mean, where life tastes better. Loba! Not again!
मेरा अभी इवेंट नहीं हुआ है नहीं कौन सा इवेंट ये भी नहीं हुआ है देखते हैं ब्रो करेंगे टाइम बचा तो ज़रूर करेंगे। एडिट करना है, क्या एडिट करना है? के बाद ये वाला 5 पे क्या था? आता हूँ 15 मिनट में। ठीक है आ जाओ। प्रेम पत्र देने ये वाला बस 11 बस इतने बचे। पे है ना पे 10 पे 10 10 अरे दस और 11 पता नहीं सही है कि गलत है, लेकिन फिर भी कर दिया।
Madam Farazan, letters from the students.
Sorry, Madam Farazan. While I'm very interested in mechanisms and ancient texts, I'm stretched thin as it is. I need to focus on my other classes.
Thank you for your invitation, Madam Farazan. I've given this a lot of thought, and in the end, I think I'm gonna focus on Kasharawar.
Hey folks, don't place all your yolks in the same punnet. Broaden your horizons today and find a new locus for your focus.
नाइस, सही है। अब बस आखिरी वाला करना है। आखिरी वाला करने के बाद तो हो गया। देखो विंडोज संभाल लेगा सब। What about Chars? आ गया, मिल गया वो भी इवेंट। चलो जल्दी जल्दी खत्म करते हैं, चलते हैं अपने अकाउंट में फिर से। ओके पाँच 6 7 एक पे ए है, इस पे 3 4 5, इस पे 6 7 ओके 7 8 9 10। ये उल्टा हो गया थोड़ा सा। हो गया, ये भी खत्म।
आ रहा है तो
रुकना थोड़ा, ये कर लेता हूँ स्ट्रीम पहले। मैं तेरे को मैसेज भेजता हूँ, ठीक है? तब बस आ जाइयो।
अरे मेरा एक दो गेम
Wait. Surely you can't use persuasion on plants.
मैं देखता है आज भाई को भी बुला लेता हूँ बाद में फिर।
Get together with your friends. Adventure awaits.
लेनी को देखो, लेनी को।
एक तो ये
माइंड ओसिया
नंबर का दोनों कैरेक्टर में बस नाइस हुआ।
सबसे पहले तुम्हें उसके शील्ड पे मारना है, कहीं भी मारो, पैर पे मारो या किधर भी मारो। फिर बाद में तुम्हें उस पे, उसके हेड पे एम करना है। पहले ही हेम पे ऐड करोगे ना, हेड पे एम, फिर मुश्किल है भाई।
अरे वो डोमेन में भाई बहुत गलत सी बुला बुला के वो डोमेन
एनेक्डोट से ढूंढे नहीं भाई ने, इसने कुछ किया है कि नहीं?
तो ये एफ के जाने वाले लोग भाई यार 20 का माइनस तो 20 प्लस मिलेगा। आई मीन 20 का प्लस माइनस 20 का प्लस। दो सौ एमबी पे क्या पड़ेगा? अरे यार मेरे को भाई इतना ये हो रहा है भाई।
स्ट्रीम कर रहे हो क्या अभी प्रणीत?
अरे अपलोड स्टूड भाई ये ये क्या हो रहा है भाई? पैकेट लॉस की मांगी ना भाई।
प्रणीत तो खतरनाक आदमी है भाई।
हम खतरनाक आदमी हैं। सिल्वर 3 मतलब बहुत ब्रो माइकल रेज डैमेज है।
माइकी वही वाला है क्या? माइकी 360 हर्ट्ज वाला कि कौन है? माइकी कौन खेल रहा है तेरे साथ?
माइकी कौन खेल रहा है क्या बोलता है?
माइकी का नाम लिया तूने अभी। कौन सा माइकी?
बे माइकी नहीं, माँ की माँ बोला मैंने।
लॉल।
अबे यार भाई नहीं कर पाया।
मैं सोच रहा माइकी को क्यों याद कर रहा। ओके वेट, शॉप में क्या है भाई? इधर क्यों दिखा रहा है इसका? वंडर
घुसाड़ के मार रहे भाई।
कुछ वेपन डिलीट वगैरह करने हैं क्या? वो बताते मेरे को पहले से। डिलीट करने होंगे तो कर दूंगा इधर से। मस्त रेशियो है वैसा। अच्छा, अगले का
प्रदीप मेरे को कितना 75 RR चाहिए, कितने गेम बताया?
इतने गेम्स में होगा भाई। वैसे अभी क्या कर रहे हो? अभी स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ ब्रो। बॉक्सी भैया
What could the children be up to? Never mind.
इधर देखिए 3 मिनट।
Stabilize. One with nature.
ये ऐसे की तैसी। इतने घने अंधेरे में डायोना क्या कर रहे हैं भाई इधर? डायोना ने पकड़ लिया भाई। मैं 2 महीना खेला नहीं हूँ। तो आयुध को ये करने जा रहा था, रैंक अप करने जा रहा था। यहाँ बेटी है भाई शेने आंटी। अच्छा नहीं बोल रहे हो, शियानियन आंटी। अच्छी
Time to go.
कर रहे थे
Xianyan? Shanha? What are
तक
friends also?
जल्दी खत्म करना है बस।
You talking? Or no accommodation at wow. Also, a trip this luxurious couldn't.
तुमने स्किन करी था?
पसंद नहीं भाई, मैंने वो कीड़े चाले करता भाई। मैं दूसरों को मार के भाई उनकी पेटी से उठाता भाई।
Wait.
ये दे ये
Uh-oh. What do we do? He's mad for sure. Come on, we gotta think of something.
ये यार पाइमॉन शेने Don't worry too much about it.
No, but even though she said she didn't want, she's probably just. What do you think, Traveler? That sounds like a good. Just leave it to us. We'll come up with a trip that's up to shit. Yep. Since she's seen all there is to. We're spoiled for. Makes sense. Mondstadt's.
कितने बच्चे हैं अभी? ओके 2 बच्चे हैं. चलिए इधर है.
74 यार क्या बोले यार
अरे अरे
बंदे ने भाई मैं जेट 3 बंदे
जेट क्यों लेना बंद कर दिया?
अगर बंदे प्लान लगा ऐप पे जा रहे हैं.
अरे वो जेट लेना क्यों बंद कर दिया?
जेट भाई अभी शोर
ड्यूलिट से बेटर है ना. तेरा गेम प्ले में बताओ किसको सूट करता है. कंट्रोलर को.
क्या?
कंट्रोलर ट्राई कर कभी. ट्राई तो कर. ट्राई तो कर. तू जो मरता रहता है ना ड्यूलिट से, वो नहीं मरेगा तू कंट्रोलर लेके. लास्ट तक बचा रहेगा. ड्यूलिस्ट लेगा तो भाई स्टार्टिंग में ही लुढ़क जाएगा और कुछ नहीं. क्योंकि ड्यूलिस्ट का रोल ही वैसा होता है भाई. या तो मरो या तो मारो. क्योंकि टीम पूरी डिपेंड होती है भाई तेरे ऊपर. तुम्हें आगे भेजते हैं सब लोग.
वैसे कंट्रोलर एक ऐसा चीज है.
अरे वो पूरी मैच को कंट्रोल कर सकता है. तेरी जो मैच जा रही होती है ना उसको भी वो मेंटेन कर सकता है भाई कंट्रोलर. समझ रहे हो? अगर तेरी टीम में से कभी भी कंट्रोलर गायब हुआ ना तो सोच लेना तू हारने ही वाला है. कंफर्म. ड्यूलिस्ट मैटर नहीं करता भाई. क्योंकि ड्यूलिस्ट तो भाई बस तुक्के पे डिपेंड करता है भाई. पूरे पूरे लगा तो लगा नहीं तो यही लुढ़क जाता है सबसे पहले.
सेज
या फिर तू सेज खेला कर. सेज भी अच्छा है भाई.
अरे मेरा हो जाता है. ऐसे तुम तेरा अड़का
मार तू क्या पुल? Wait.
मैं तो बस से कंट्रोलर नहीं करता। मुझे स्क्रीनशॉट भेजा है, देखो। देख रहे हो?
हाँ मस्त है। प्लस 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 सही है भाई।
बे यार कब गया भाई? सामने सामने।
पूरी ना नहीं है ना, पूरी नहीं निकाल रही।
दे रेन डिसेबल।
Something you wish.
पुल कर रहा हूँ एंडो, मिल जाएगी तेरे को। मिल गई।
कब गया था?
Go on. You have my undivided attention.
वैसे मैं गोल्ड जाऊँ लाट कब होगा मेरा? 40 डेज। गोल्ड 3 गोल्ड 2 का ये रहा।
कुछ भी रख ले भाई, टेंशन ना ले। ये करना है, चेंज करना पड़ेगा।
गुरु क्या छुपा था भाई? दो बंदे दो बंदे दो बंदे।
वो सॉन्ग तो ज्यादा ही बढ़िया है, मैं गुनगुना रहा हूँ भाई बार बार उसको। हाँ ये कर लेते हो. इतना हो सके उतना कर लेते हो. Wait.
Time to go.
चोरी से मिलने जाना है.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
You're back. Huh? And you've got the Traveler and Paimon with you too.
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too. Are you also members of the tabletop troupe?
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette, Fremine, and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouffe Tété sometimes, but I'm usually the GM. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to it.
हो गया उसका. तुम्हारा भी करना है क्या? जल्दी बताओ कितना हुआ है.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all.
हो गया. Nice.
Said there was a good
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees. अभी 76 पुल्स है. ओ भाई अमीर बंदे. अफान भाई.
I think I'll wait to see you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities.
You could say that.
Right. I knew about that even when she was still my subordinate.
भाई कौन सी सुंदरी निकालने वाले उससे.
It's nothing. Really, just a small hobby of mine.
शीलो. ओ भाई मे शीलो को ही निकालने वाला हो.
So used to seeing you be up.
Surely you jest. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal
को
life.
बोल दिया है.
The me you see at court represents, but in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person. Someone who.
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you,
किसके बारे में?
I've never seen you cry. I've seen.
I was.
अरे मैं कर देता ना, कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
Is that so? Well, in any case,
हाँ चलेगा.
in your personal life, you don't get emotional very often.
वो कर देगा.
So you want to see me
वो
cry?
अपना ही बंदा है.
That might be a.
एक बंदा ये पे
कल शॉर्ट स्ट्रीम करूंगा सीधा.
Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager, Mr. Florian.
आपको कैसे पता चला? कौन सा भाई?
Pleasure to meet you all.
भाई
Wait,
मेरी कोई होती तो मैं इधर होता क्या?
Oh no, this is just the costume provided by the club.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the play. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of the script.
अरे यार
This script was adapted from the real history of the Marushosei hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve a series of events.
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of the Marashosei hunters. Is that a problem?
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marashosei hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters and protecting the city by using a special swordsmanship technique passed down over generations. Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty, as well as the first hunter, Cassiodor. But I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out and discover later.
Mm-hmm. And I'll provide additional commentary as the story progresses.
In that case, brave hunters, are you ready to set out on an unknown adventure?
Whoa, just one sentence and it's like we're in the story already!
Aha, I see many a determined gaze before me. Very.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scenes?
It's the exact location of the scene,
बोल बोल
as well as the formal permission to use the venue. Huh, seems like they have everything prepared. Please
ऐसा नहीं है
follow me,
कुछ
everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything.
Sounds good. Underscore.
भाई वो तो बस अकेले पे डिपेंड होगा ना फिर अगर 5 बंदे एक साथ उसको मारेंगे तो हाँ फिर अरे हर एक अगर तेरी टीम में हर एक बंदा ऐसा हुआ ना कि उसको उसका रोल पता है फिर तुम जीत सकते हो आराम से और अगर एक कोई ऐसा हुआ ना बाय अरे बाय ब्रो गुड नाइट हैव अ नाइस ड्रीम वंडो बेबी वंडो ब्रो मिलते हैं बाद में ठीक है आप तो 4 बजे आओगे अब
Violet grass is a plant that enjoys a moist environment and is best picked after it rains. If you should choose to pick any, be sure to store them appropriately.
भूल ही गया था पानी पे चलने वाली मिल गई है मुझे
They really have thought of everything. Even the phaetometer is here and
और
ready to
भाई
go for us.
और वो उनको कैसे पता चलता है करे करके
The phaetometer.
It's a card that's used to determine.
And what about all the dessert?
That's what the message said.
Really?
अबे वो एकदम नशेड़ी है
It feels those snacks have Paimon.
मैंने उसको तो इंस्टॉल ही नहीं किया
Hunter than Amara Shosei.
Snack hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, the desserts are great. But I'm still looking forward to the story more than anything.
Very fair. Then, let us begin. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you and write down your name and profession. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. In this story, everyone is a Marashosei hunter.
Ooh, nice.
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional.
Swordsmanship?
Why don't you share a character?
Kinda like in real life. So, for the name, do I fill it out with the name of my character?
Yep, it can be any name you like.
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I get too lazy to think of a new name. Oh, so it would be like experiencing a different life, but still as yourself. That's not a bad.
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name Linny then.
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular skill, the easier it will be to pass associated checks.
I'll take persuasion and investigation. Those are must-haves when it comes to missions like these. Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for gathering intelligence. Good idea, Navia. Just as expected of a veteran player. So, should we also take those skills then?
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to Navia and use our skill points to pick up other useful skills. For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more options if we run into any situation.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't thinking about it like that. I suppose it's not so different from an acting troupe. Everyone has their own role to play. Let me see. I'll take art and performance. I'm not quite sure what use they'll be, but I'm not as knowledgeable about the other skills. And I'm not too confident. Well, that leaves us. What do you want to say, Haha! Gotta say, this suits you really well. Nothing boosts morale like good food. Ooh, so you want to help people when they're injured. That's nice of you. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these?
Let's see. You've all picked such
Samne.
classic skills. It's fine to go a little bit out of the box,
Right.
you know. Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
Side पे ऊपर है
For example, this one here. Summon. Doesn't it sound
ये
super
बंदे
mysterious and cool?
सबका
I saw that one just
मेरे
now as
टीम
well.
में है
The description says this skill can be used under certain circumstances.
तो ये
to
वाईफाई
summon
वाले
ghosts.
लोग
World-building rules, huh?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you, and the GM will take care of the rest.
भाई दिन
चले गए भाई वांडो गुरुजी अपने
Well, now that everyone's
I
more or
don't know
less
what-
finished creating their characters, we can begin.
B
Since two of our players are doing this for the first time, though, let me ask. Would you like to play on easy mode?
What's the difference between the two?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the results of the fatometer. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. A critical failure may even result in further negative consequences. If you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail.
look on the side
And if you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't have to worry about luck playing a factor.
damage nice क्या था भाई वो
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy mode. I'd feel bad if I brought the team down by failing my checks. Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. Never knowing what you might have to overcome. Ugh, doesn't that sound exciting? I'd rather be mentally prepared for what might happen.
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful.
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure?
No need to worry about the pesky fatometer.
Honestly, I don't think Clorand would make things too difficult for us, no matter what the fatometer says.
No promises.
That wasn't super reassuring. Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's get started. I want to experience at least a good chunk of the story today. Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene on a beach?
Well, that's because a long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. They created a host of monsters and sent them to slaughter all humans in existence. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together.
94 subscribe
With
लगता
their swords raised, they
तबाही
swore to
होता
brave the darkness. And
Thank you
in
so much.
doing so,
अबे क्या इनका ये चल रहा है लफड़ा 712 है
sometime later, as a member of the Marashosei Hunters,
एक तो मूवी बना रहे
you
भाई
receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, you take a boat and arrive at this strange city. As you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity, but you do take note of a few others who, like you, seem to be sizing up this place. Your eyes meet.
you realize these people are
These people are fellow Marashosei hunters, likely led to this location after receiving the same commission as you.
You're all Marashosei hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What's the point of traveling together? We can help each other out on the road.
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marashosei hunter and later chose to follow in his footsteps.
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone?
तो भाई इसकी फट गई
Dozens of times. My name is Farina, and
अरे मेरा क्वेश्चन चल रहा है क्लोरीन
I
का
grew up in a noble family. I always had. Hey, that's really cool.
एक ही इलाज तो कर रहा हूँ
Farina,
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this Marashosei hunter right
क्लोरीन वाला
I've been studying medicine at. Oh, welcome.
You open your envelopes at the same time.
क्लोरीन या फुरीना वाला कुछ तो है दोनों में से
The honorable and
पता नहीं किसका मैंने किया है क्लोरीन का ही है
overtaken by
Huh. The layout of this city looks
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree-lined streets and the gentle tranquility of days gone by. Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty shell. Its hollow gates are open to you.
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures.
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from... Oh, good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters and bad guys.
you look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the...
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you think?
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is quite...
अच्छा खेले होगा वो
If only those monsters out there would stop causing trouble.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer. If we keep asking questions, we might be able to get some good leads. Oh, come now. Don't
अरे
be
पेड़
sad.
भाई
Life is
ये तो
all
करो
about optimism. Oh, that reminds me. What did you have for
पे
breakfast
कैसे?
this morning?
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to ask.
पेड़
Nothing
भाई
to
यार
frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons? I could make you some. You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me for saying this, but you don't really look like a chef. Besides, I'm not really a fan of sweets.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. You're really starting to remind me of this one friend of mine.
भाई 3 राउंड गए
Hey!
ये हमारा टीम वाले क्या
Me? Glorian must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere. Traveler, maybe you can think of something.
इसके बारे में think करूँगा.
Are you sure? In that case, please refer to the phaetometer. You remain silent as you prepare a pot and fire to use for cooking. The woman stares at you with her mouth agape as you skillfully cut the ingredients and toss them into the pot. After some time, a rich aroma begins to fill the
78,
air.
85.
Even a passing cat can't help but stop in its
78.
tracks and look up in anticipation.
Please have some food.
there you I
Who
told you.
knows? Maybe. Whoa, that's amazing. Wait.
Nice.
So as long as you pass the check, you can pretty much do anything, and it won't be seen as absurd?
Oh, thank you. You were right.
Just right.
This food really did make me feel better.
So what had you so worried earlier?
Okay. A horrible monster suddenly appeared near the capital. So
Do you remember when those...
I'm not completely sure. All I know is that my husband was dispatched to fight them 3 days ago.
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he couldn't even tell me where they were sending him.
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Don't worry. We'll find him. Just try to remain optimistic and wait for good news. We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things like what we eat and how...
I'll do. You bid farewell to the woman and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly, merchants are usually a good source of information, right?
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question if I may.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about this much?
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't even buy half an onion with that amount.
Surely an onion can't be that expensive.
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you're not gonna buy anything, then scram.
Whoa, what a nasty guy. Maybe we shouldn't even bother talking to him.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something? A performance? I've never played a role-playing game like this before, but even I can tell that suggestion is pretty far-fetched. All right. By the harbor's grace, a lone boat lies in rest. Let the moon give chase, for here begins our quest. In the dark of shadow, our heroes seek to find where creatures born of evil weave their grand design. Blocked the road does stand, such is our hunter's plight.
Yet with sword and courage in hand, they march forth to pierce the night.
I don't recall asking for a bardic song. Don't expect me to give you any coin. But if you meant what you sang, and you are indeed some kind of hunter, then by all means, please, go out and kill those monsters for us. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues, we're all gonna be in big trouble.
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
Yeah, all right, I think I've said more than enough. Be on your way.
Got it.
Don't mind him, Farina. He just doesn't have enough taste to...
No, I was just thinking about how those nobles must be so cold-hearted. It's like they don't care about their people at all.
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he shakes his head and lets out a long sigh.
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe I can get some information out of him. Hello, sir. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Wait, you're...
I'm...
Oh, dear goodness! You're a Marashose hunter!
You recognize us?
Yes, yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come! Oh, what great news! The city is saved!
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. The first Marashose hunter, Casiodor, the Golden Hunter, he was the one who drove them back. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city.
Are there not enough soldiers to drive them out?
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with them. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. What's worse, many of us don't even know the history of the Marashose. When I was a child, though, my grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marashose hunters drove back the monsters. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just tall tales.
Well, you can rest easy, friend.
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes...
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find...
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. I'm afraid I can't point you toward a specific... Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group of...
I see. We'll go look for them.
All right. Be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters outside the city are just part of the problem. There are evil sorcerers inside the city as well. So be on your guard. They're actively working with the monsters, and have corrupted the court ministers with malicious magic. They're the reason why, even inside the city, everything has been a giant... Even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure, interested in nothing but enacting laws that exploit the people. Who knows how much longer we'll be able to go on like this.
Talk about being stuck between a...
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up? Hey! Not everything can...
I appreciate your brave hunters. I leave...
If I understood correctly, there are currently 2 problems in the kingdom that need solving, right?
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city and take down the evil sorcerer stirring up trouble from...
But which problem should we tackle first? Well,
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that. I totally thought the hunters would be treated like heroes.
Well, Clarence said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the real-life Marushosei hunters were also...
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history, but there are definitely some similarities. Would you like to hear more about it?
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script. You brought up bits and pieces of the hunter's history before, but it was all in passing.
Paimon wants to know too! The hunters were super powerful, right? Were they all from a special line of supernatural beings or something? Kind of like the yokai in Inazuma?
No. All Marushosei hunters were ordinary mortal fighters. The only thing that set them apart were the special sword techniques passed down over the centuries.
Huh? So you mean anyone could become a Marushosei hunter?
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is survive the rigorous training and master the swordsmanship techniques required to fight the monsters. Still, most people dropped out at the early stages, and others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person. To become a hunter, you must...
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly? Oh, and the evil sorcerer the script mentions. Did they exist in real life too?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as Remuria. After that dynasty fell, monsters began to appear, intent on obstructing humans from establishing a new social order. One of the ancient sorcerers of Remuria used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems.
Now wait a second. Don't tell me that guy was the inspiration for the evil sorcerer in the script.
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game. But if you want...
Wait, but those people are all from a super long time ago. Where did you learn all this, Claran?
लेटेस्ट न्यूज़ सुनोगे क्या है इसका अच्छी होगी तो जरूर सुनूंगा साढ़े का करना लाइव ठीक है हाँ जरूर अरे आज थोड़ा सीन हो गया था घर में मेहमान आ चुके थे गौरव को जानते हाँ जानता हूँ बोलो क्या हुआ
I see. That explains why most of the people in the script have forgotten the hunters or think of them as nothing more than a legend.
बंदी को जानते हो नहीं मुझे नहीं पता इसकी बंदी वो थोड़े ही मुझे बताएगा ऐसी प्राइवेट चीजें मुझे पता है आफान भाई को पता है शायद से कर रहा क्या कट गया 1 महीने के अंदर
Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing...
What about you, partner? What do you think? It's decided then.
ये क्या खबर है भाई?
After some discussion,
चला मेरा मस्त है ना चाहिए यामी भाई आपका तो भाई कोई तोड़ी नहीं है
You there, outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression. Although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and the
मेरे को पता नहीं है आवा अगर होता तो इससे कुछ फर्क पड़ जाता मेरे को लेकिन पता ही नहीं था कोई है करके
sneaking around the city earlier, so I'll only ask, state your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
मेरा बस गेम से
Wow, it's been a while since someone's been this suspicious of us.
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
क्या अब
Have you ever heard of the Martian
वो बस दोस्त की तरह आता है, दोस्त की तरह चला जाता है और कुछ नहीं.
That fairy tale, you mean?
वो भी 1-2 मिनट के लिए बोलता है फिर चला जाता है. Shout out. अरे यार ये लुढ़क गए. हो गया सक्सेस.
Using your knowledge of medicine, you're able to deduce that the injury on his calf was a monster's doing, and the wound has already begun to fester.
वैसे ये हो गया क्या हुआ तेरा? स्पाइरल हो गया?
With suspicion and retracts his injured leg further back.
I'm a doctor by trade. Please let me redress.
The man appears somewhat disgruntled at having been exposed, but soon relents and raises his leg for you to take a better look. He allows you to apply a poultice of specialized medicine to the wound, and it appears to bring him much relief. The tension in his brow eases. Oh, right. Guess you lot might actually be real Marachose hunters after all. In any case, you've successfully treated my wound.
Do you know where we can find the monsters, or the other guards who are fighting them?
He informs you of the various locations where monsters have appeared. He looks in that general direction with a pained gaze, as if a thin, invisible thread is pulling on his wound.
बस एक गन है बस अंदर आई है.
Petty thief, and now they're out there fighting monsters.
Oh, please, sir.
कौन है भाई?
Too worked up. You need to focus on
मुझे भी
your
पता
recovery.
नहीं चला.
Just leave the monsters to.
Hearing you say that, a glimmer of hope flashes in his eyes. Those monsters aren't easy to deal with, but if you insist on going, I
Fan
won't
by
stop you
notice.
either. I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive. I wish you the best of luck.
Based on what the captain said, the monsters should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back, they yell.
मस्त है.
This is the place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you.
हमें नहीं मिलते भाई, हमारी किस्मत इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, लेकिन चलो कोई ना.
All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle just
किस्मत को कभी ये नहीं करता भाई टॉप पर.
Be on your guard.
जो होता अच्छे के लिए होता भाई.
Monsters might still be.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that, in their bloodthirsty eyes, you're just another meal for them to devour.
A little help here. This thing wants to eat Paimon.
Your battle round begins now.
Oh, success. सही.
Step right up. Here comes the finale.
Shower me with praise.
round begins now.
Umbrella warfare, I guess.
The monsters let out a terrifying
Say
roar
event.
of anger and
Event नहीं
resentment
अरे request है.
before dissipating into thin air.
Ugh, thank goodness it's
Chlorine का quest है.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points. Otherwise, we would have been in some real trouble.
I never knew the photometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky, isn't it just game over right then and there?
That's part of the fun. The uncertainty of fate is what gives these games their appeal.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump. Wait, could it be the thing that appears after every battle?
I walk up to
मैं भी हैरान हूँ भाई ये कुछ नया ही बना दिया उन्होंने.
and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine.
ये मेरे बहुत quest बचे थे इस वजह से.
Investigate the mound.
वो थोड़ा सा अलग सा लग रहा है.
Portion appeared. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery. Poke it.
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
पता नहीं कौन सा है बस खेल रहा हूँ मैं.
With everyone's help, you successfully excavate the wooden chest from the ground, even without opening it. You can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest.
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it and we can share what's inside.
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure more than us?
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monsters.
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon thought since we were the ones to dig it up, we could just take it for ourselves.
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game can impact the future course of the story.
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marshose hunters. What if they think we procured the treasure illegally? They might get even more suspicious of us.
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food? Then we'll be ready to fight even more bad guys.
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late. Why don't we call it a day for now?
Wow! Where did the time go?
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all or because the story is particularly enticing.
Here, here. Ooh, how about we play through the night?
I'm not sure I'll have enough energy for that.
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home too late.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story anyway.
Huh? Another location?
There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next part of the script.
Whoa! They really pulled out all the stops for this new script.
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Cloran finish her story, right? Paimon wants to hear.
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts before we break for the day.
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, to Paimon, not finishing free food feels even worse than having to buy her own. And anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about Cloran's master.
Well...
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. It won't do any harm to share these things now. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some time before that.
What a heavy beginning for a life story.
Master was a fascinating individual. If inexperienced in the ways of raising children. My first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh, wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child? Isn't that dangerous? Did you hurt yourself?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She just stood there and casually lectured me about it. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me.
Excuse me for asking this, Clorand, but how old were you exactly when all this happened?
Probably around, 3, give or take.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error was the best way to teach a child what they're capable of.
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a Geovishap hatchling.
A Geovishap hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous!
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight. Whoever loses is the real pet.
And how old were you when this happened?
5.
Well, did you win?
No, I lost.
So, you're saying you actually became the Geovishap's pet?
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat.
That really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a marechaussee hunter, but I never heard her bring up her own parent. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild by myself the year after that. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met.
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind Ms. Petra.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember? I don't think many members of the Spina ever beat you in one of those.
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. Oh, do you remember that one time we went exploring around the Spina together? We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you nearly let it slip that one time.
Protector of Justice. Oh, wait, you mean
Sure.
that vigilante
ID.
hero from 20 years ago? The one who was always active at night?
Yep, that would be her. She often
हो सकता है ब्रो, पता नहीं, ट्राई करना पड़ेगा वो,
knew where she went or what she was doing.
20 years
कुछ भी हो सकता है भाई Genshin में।
I still remember the
वो वाले बंदे तो भाई कब का उनका अकाउंट बेच दिया होगा भाई दूसरों को पैसों के लिए।
And anyway, everything she did was for a good cause. Although, calling herself the protector of order was a bit much.
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the Protector of Order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code.
बंदे बहुत ही खतरनाक होते हैं भाई इस दुनिया में।
Name on the spot whenever she was asked. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just 2.
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the 2 she'd used by the time she got back each night.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual. With her strong sense of justice,
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone...
But...
She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10.
Disappeared? What happened?
I have no idea. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her whereabouts. But he only shook his head.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but they never found any credible leads.
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, Given Master's personality and way of doing things, it all made a lot of sense. If I had to guess, I'd say she probably used it as an opportunity to force me to become independent. Just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, the mother willingly leaves them behind.
Were you upset, Clorand?
I was at first, but not anymore. I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear for no reason. There must have been something she just had to do.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in all of Fontaine. You're practically a living symbol of law and justice.
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master always did whatever she pleased. But you're right. I suppose I do take after her in some ways.
Who knew Clorand had such an interesting past? I never had the chance to ask her about it before. I wonder if Clorand's master were the champion duelist back then. Would that duel against Mr. Callus have gone differently? Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorand and Navi are probably thinking something similar. The mood just got super awkward all of a sudden.
Well, anyway. Would you look at the time? It's getting dark, so we should probably call it a day for real this time. If we keep talking like this, we really will be here all night.
I had a great time today, Miss Clorand. Thank you for being our GM.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say, your childhood stories were even better. Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo-Bishop sometime. Maybe your master was onto something.
You could be right.
What does she mean, onto something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time. Guess I'll head back as well. I need to save my energy if I want to continue enjoying the story tomorrow.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script.
बाकी का कल करते हैं अब।
This route. If you ever have...
Like around okay. 30 lakhs only.
Osman. Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory? Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. But where are those who share the memory?
सही लग रहा है भाई ये फोटो। ऐसा भी सही लग रहा है। स्टार्ट में क्या पूछते हैं? स्टार ले लेते हैं इससे। ओ भाई देख क्रिट अरे बेंडी अटैक। ये तो गलत हुआ। डिफेंस वाला मुझे नहीं लगता अच्छा है कुछ। ये यार बच गया वो किस। फॉस को मार के ही जाना है। को लेवल अप ही करना है स्किल। ये वाला अगर लेवल अप हो गया ना 2 से तो मजा आएगा। 5 मिनट बचे बस। मेरा 10-8 है बस। ओह सही है वो। अरे आज क्या हुआ ना, ये मेहमान आ गए भाई घर पे टाइम पे। जब मैं स्ट्रीम स्टार्ट करने वाला था ना 4 या 5 बजे, तभी मेहमान आ गए भाई। मैं कुर्सी पे ये करके बैठा था, बेचारे आकर देख रहे भाई क्या कर रहा। सुबह कितने बजे उठते हो वैसे अपन? हम सुबह से कर सकते हैं स्ट्रीम। कोई और गेम का स्ट्रीम देखना चाहोगे इसके बाद? कि सोने वाले हो जल्दी आज भी? यही चाहिए। Otherwise, ऐसे गेम का, अरे ये अपने पास सेकिरो है, देन वैलोरेंट है, देन और भी है। ये भी है, टर्मिनेटर रेजिस्टेंस का भी है, रोबोट वाला। वो रोबोट को मारना है। रोबोट भाई इंसानों के दुश्मन बन चुके हैं उसमें। ये देख, उस दिन ये मिला आर्टिफैक्ट, कैसा है? बकवास है। 3 मिनट बचे बस 3 मिनट। यो करो भाई, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम। क्या सीन? बंद कर दी क्या आपने स्ट्रीम? वेट कर रहे बॉस का। कब की एंड कर दी? ओ भी कर सकते हैं अब। सही है। दिमाग खराब है तो मुझसे बातें कर रहा है। वो बस अभी थोड़ा ओके गेमिंग भाई।
Solidify.
Time to shine.
Clouds high. Birds come. The tides beckon. Silence.
Strike a pose.
Justice is blindsided. Bow your head.
ये मैं ये क्या बच्चा दी?
Gather.
सो जाओ चिचा। अपन भाई दीदी कब ला रही?
Solidify.
Let my name echo in song.
Settle down. Let the mighty be humble. Gather.
Strike a pose.
Bow your head. The tides beckon. Stabilize.
Time to shine.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
Silence. Order guide you. Settle down.
यस 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 यस, मिल गया मिल गया। यार एक और मिलना चाहिए था। हाँ अरे वो हो गया। हो गया, मैं बस ट्राई कर रहा था ये करने का, उसका पूरा रोटेशन यूज करने का, लेकिन रोटेशन से पहले वो ऊपर नीचे चला जा रहा था, तो बाद में मैंने छोड़ ही दिया रोटेशन करना। और जब अंदर गया ना तब भाई वो बर्स्ट यूज हो गया न्यूलेट का। अगर बर्स्ट यूज नहीं होता ना उधर तो ये कब का टपक जाता। कौन ये भी कर सकते हो, लेकिन एक काम है क्या मिलेगा इस पे। क्रिट रेट, क्रिट डैमेज, ईएमए अटैक, क्रिट रेट। अगला एपिसोड कल।
Let's go meet up with the group. Paimon's really looking forward to today's story.
रेडी कर लेते हैं भाई तब तक। ये ये और कौन सा लूं? ये वाला ले लेता हूँ।
Be sanctified.
Shall set you free. Hear ye the word.
Justice. Settle down.
Be upon you. Nothing to fear. Stabilize.
Wind strike.
Bow your head.
You are free. Open unto you.
Wind strike.
Settle down.
Solidify.
Bow your head. Let the mighty be humbled.
Care for a dance?
Stand back!
Dance with me!
Show no mercy! You two! Time to burn it down!
Be a good
Light of
audience,
the blazing
won't you?
sun!
The curtain falls.
Transfixed! Teamwork is dreamwork! Suffer the wrath of Eve!
Rise with the sun! Pyroclastic surge!
खांसी कैसे आ गई?
Stabilize.
Yoo-hoo! Time to shine!
Solidify. This is order.
As one with wind and cloud.
Wind strike.
Shower me with praise!
Settle down. Be sanctified. Bow your head.
Let my name echo in song!
Stabilize.
Silence. Let the mighty be humbled.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Settle down.
Let the world collide!
Silence. Be sanctified.
Going in! Show no mercy! You two! Time to end! Burn it down! Light as a blazing sun!
one with wind and cloud.
Let the mighty be humble.
Let the world collide! You should...
Time to go.
I see your power. Settle down. Be sanctified. Bow your head. Solidify.
Time to shine! Strike a pose!
Silence. Let the mighty be humble.
Everybody stand back! Transfixed! Fulfill our pact! Lolling! Eat Papa! Light it up! Pyroclastic surge! Incinerate! Teamwork is dreamwork! Suffer the wrath of evil! Rise with the sun! Light of the blazing sun!
Bow your head.
Fallen leaves, adorn my...
I'm getting sick of this one.
Patience.
Let my name echo in song!
Wind strike.
Silence. Be sanctified. Bow your head.
Let the world collide!
Silence. The tides beckon. Settle down.
Strike a pose! Show no mercy!
Lay to bear. Burn it down.
Full throttle! I'm going in! Get to work! You two! Time to end them!
Wrath from the sky.
Incinerate! Show no mercy! Adventure time! Off we go!
Rev the engines.
Everybody stand back! Fulfill our pact! Eat Lolling! Eat Papa! Get...
Pyroclastic surge.
Come. ठीक इसी लग रहा है ये माविका से। गुड नाइट करो, गुड नाइट, गुड नाइट करो भाई। देखो सोना ऐसा
How brilliant!
तुमको नहीं ना ये है मेरा खजाना अपन भाई। 10 पुल्स, ओनली 10। पीटी 20 पे है। मतलब 30 पुल्स हो गए भाई अपने पास। 50-50 हारने के लिए। मस्त भाई 76 लेके बैठे हो तुम। कुछ दे दो इधर उसमें से।
Where do you want to go next? If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist bus, I have a few references.
वैसे आज गेम में 2K पे चला रहा। 2K रिजोल्यूशन देखो। मेरे मोबाइल में 144p है बस। ओ भाई अरे कुछ तो सीन हो रहा था नॉर्मल आने पे विंडोज, तो मैंने उस पर डाल दिया। अरे पीकू भाई कैसे हो? अरे कर रहा था स्ट्रीम। अरे मत जाओ सोने, हम जाने ही नहीं देंगे। हाँ ना वो कल कैसे टावर को, कौन से टावर को मार रहे थे? बैटल टावर।
पंजाब में
हाँ
वो उसका मॉडल बैटल टावर होता है।
लेकिन इतना छुपना क्यों पड़ता है? मार देता है क्या वो एक ही शॉट में? ठीक है ब्रो, गुड नाइट, बाय बाय। चलो गाइस आज के लिए जेंशिन इतना ही, मिलते कल। आज ना इसके बाद थोड़ा अलग सी गेम ट्राई करूँगा, लेकिन वो आज बस ट्राई करूँगा, कल स्ट्रीम करूँगा उसके। बाय बाय। वेट, स्ट्रीम एंड कर देता हूँ और वीसी पे आ जाता हूँ। And thank you for joining, guys. Thank you so much.